Hello everyone, welcome back. Today we are doing the first VIP room in this series of VIP rooms. This is also going to still be on my resort hotel playlist for Fawn, which is my launch island. The way that you go about doing the first VIP room is a little different than doing all others. Leilani will ask you to choose from the roster of people who are currently staying in the hotel on your island, and you can essentially upgrade one of them to a VIP room. You can also go and do this at any time afterward at the hotel. You can choose to make a VIP room for any of the guests staying there, or you can make one for a lost tourist that you might find. However, I'm going to go into more detail in my hotel guide, which I'm going to put out at some point after this video comes out, unless it is the future and that video is already out, in which case go watch that when this is done, and I hope that you find that helpful. I like the opportunity to design these rooms, but it kind of stinks that they clear out the next day. I mean, I get it, the guest is gone and essentially the room is wiped. Kind of like when you go to a blank slate Happy Home Paradise build and you start building, except this is completely different. This literally is the entire experience for the hotel is Happy Home Paradise Light. And I initially had a problem with that when the 3.0 update was announced, because I was like, okay, this kind of is samey for people who've already bought the DLC like myself, and I got the DLC when it launched in 2021. But there are a lot of people who don't have the DLC, and it's nice that there is the opportunity to do something like that on their home island for free built into an update, and that you get the furniture too as you go along doing it. Like, the more you progress, the more items that you unlock. However, sometimes I find myself wondering why I am spending all this time building a VIP room when they just empty the next day. But then in the same vein, I never go back to my Happy Home Paradise builds to talk to the villager or to do any sort of renovation. So I guess it's kind of the same thing for me, at least, because like once I finish a build, that's it, I'm done. I don't typically go back and like change anything or redo it. However, I had Coco as a person at the Paradise Planning Beach on my second island, because I have been kind of speed running through as much as possible, as much as you can, Happy Home Paradise, and that is a slog to try and do quickly, but Coco was there as a client. And if you guys remember, I had issues with OBS at one point, and that was when I did Coco's vacation home on my main island's save, and because of my issues with OBS, with the encoder or something, it didn't save properly, so I wasn't able to ever post a video for the build because the video was not properly done. Like, there were major issues with the encoder. So I had said I was going to go back and maybe add a second story to it or renovate it, and I think I probably will eventually, but it kind of reminded me of that when I saw her as a client on my second island, and I don't really want to do a vacation home for her there because I haven't unlocked nearly the amount of items, DIYs, furniture, whatever, in that second island that I have on my main island, where I have every single DIY and I've crafted every single thing except for the glowing moss ruins wall, because for the life of me I cannot find the ruins wall at Sahara's. She never seems to have it. I also haven't been checking as consistently as I was, but I think at this point I'm just going to go to a treasure island because we're in 2026 and that DIY came out with the release of the 2.0 update in 2021. I do like that we can choose to not have a theme for the VIP rooms, very much how like we can chat with a client at Paradise Planning and choose to just do something completely different than what they're requesting. And I like that the suggested items tab is just that. It's suggested. You don't have to use them. There are not like required items that you have to put down like at Happy Home Paradise. So I guess this is kind of good in that regard, in that like you have a lot more freedom, but also the Paradise Planning Archipelago, I mean, you can have the facilities like the cafe and the restaurant, and at the restaurant you can get a cooking DIY every day from the sous chef, and you can have the hospital where on Mondays Joan is there and she'll give you a random assortment of turnips, and I'm really hoping that that's going to help out my second island because the turnip prices have not been great there, and I've been trying to get a good price on my main island to be able to sell there, but it hasn't been working out either. I've talked about this a bit in some of my recent videos because I'm trying to get the Cornering the Stock Market card done because I am trying to complete every Nook Miles card in 2026, and so far it's been a slog. I mean, actually we're doing pretty good. There are some that I haven't unlocked yet that I think involve certain things to happen. Like, I haven't gotten the Lost Treasure one yet because because I try as I might, have not been able to get a balloon to fall into the water or whatever. And there are just some other ones that I haven't unlocked, and I need to figure out what those are. I was able to finish the Host the Most and Island is Your Land, or Island in Your Land, whatever it is. The one for like visiting other people and the other one for hosting people, just by going back and forth between my second island and my main island, because like I was not about to go and do a bunch of nonsense with online people. So at least those ones are easy. And also, and I'm probably going to talk about this whenever I do part 4 of that challenge, which like at this point I don't know when that's going to be, but I was doing some diving last night and I time traveled ahead onto my second island. So like we're at the beginning of March now. So I was listening to a book last night, like an audio book, and I was doing some diving and I didn't realize that the clock had ticked over into March on my second island, because all of a sudden I caught a turban shell and a chambered nautilus while diving, and I was like, wait a minute, those are definitely not available in February, because I've been tracking all of my stuff with the planner for ACNH app that is on iOS and Android. It is free if you guys are interested in checking it out. I really like it. The developer recently updated it for all the 3.0 items, and I find it really helpful to be able to track items that I have, creatures that I've caught, stuff that's been donated, you know, all that fun stuff, all my villagers, whatever. But it was so funny because like I think that I had caught a Venus flower basket right before the clock ticked over, because like that is not available once it hits March, like it's gone in February. And I had already caught one prior and donated it, but I was chasing a really fast critter around in the sea for like 10 minutes. And I know how to catch the fast ones, but it just wasn't cooperating with me. And then it was a Venus flower basket, and then literally a couple of minutes later I got a turban shell and then a chambered nautilus, and I was like, what the heck is going on? So for books, so my 2026 reading has been weird. I started off with the Let Them theory. I didn't really like it all that much. I think I talked about this in a previous video. I don't know. I talked about it with a friend of mine because her and I are talking about like all the books that we're reading, but I just personally wasn't a fan of it. Then I read All the Bright Places, and I really, really loved that one. It kind of gave me like John Green vibes a little bit, and I cried a lot. So that was great. Then I read the one by John Mars. I think John Mars is the author, maybe. And I wasn't expecting it to be a psychological thriller sort of thing. Like I just kind of had skimmed through the summary on Libby where it talked about how people are matched based on their DNA through like an app or whatever. And to me, it sounded like a more adult version of the Matched series by Ali Condé. And I really liked the Matched series by Ali Condé. I thought they were great books. So I read that and I thought it was okay. I don't think I'm going to be reading the other ones because there are other books that he's written that I think are kind of like similar concepts where like marriage is required, and then like there's another one where like children, like people can't have kids because of the population or something, and it costs too much to have kids, so they have like virtual kids or something. I'm good. I'm not going to read those. But now I'm reading The 3 Lives of Kate K, and that's what I was listening to because I have it on my Kindle app like through Libby, but I will also sometimes put on the assisted reader like to have it read to me if I'm doing something else, like to multitask. And so far I really, really like it. I'm almost halfway through, and I think it's a really good book, and it's definitely different than the one, which is great. It's not a psychological thriller, but recommend some books to me, you guys, because I have some stuff that came up for me to be able to borrow, but I can't read more than one book at a time. It's too much for me. It's too much for my brain. But recommend some books. I like fantasy. I like urban fantasy. Been reading a lot of young adult stuff, you know, stuff like that. I didn't know what to do for the accent wall in this room. Actually, I didn't really know what to do for this room at all, but I wanted to kind of play off of Whitney's snooty personality, so I did use some more of the elegant pieces. But for the accent wall, I was honestly debating on having some custom design stickers on it, like for windows and doors to open up onto like a balcony sort of situation. But then I actually made the balcony in the back anyway with the stone rugs or whatever that are available for us to use, which I really like those, but I wish that there wasn't the little border on either side. Same with the wooden deck rugs that we have. They make really cool accent pieces to try and break up the floors, but when it has those edges, it kind of takes me out. Is that the same with anybody else? How do you guys feel about it? I also kind of wish we could layer rugs on top of them. I mean, I get why, because they are a rug in themselves, and this game does not allow that. That would be way too complicated. But I guess what I'm saying is I want more advanced build tools, and apparently I need to go play The Sims for that. But that means that I have to turn on my PC. However, I am going to be doing a Sims build at some point soon. I think after this video comes out, the next one is going to be doing a Sims 2 build. I haven't decided if I'm going to actually build a little house or if I'm going to just edit one that's in the bin. I think I want to do more like bin editing, like take a lot from the lots and houses bin and plop it down and then renovate it, kind of like what we did with the Bon Voyage mansion, but on a smaller scale, not like a giant grotesque build like that. Anyway, we are done with the room here. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I will be back with more of these VIP rooms in the future because I've done like 7 of them so far, so we have a nice backlog. Thank you so much for watching. Please leave any comments, feedback, and suggestions down below. Like and subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.